what I'm going to do first is just have a couple of shots at a target. Not that pellets, I use Bisley Magnum. That's a bit dark in there. I use Bisley Magnums. This gun can handle them quite well. Its legal limit is 12 foot-pounds, which is what we're legally allowed to have in Britain, but it can quite happily handle Bisley Magnums at, you know, as long as you're not going daft ranges, nothing more than like 25, 30 yards, maybe 35 yards. Easily handle a Bisley Magnum, and I think that the heavier weight, the bigger in power, you know, definitely knocks rabbits down anyway. So I'm going to have a few shots at one of my targets, just make sure, see how far, if the scope's out at all. It shouldn't be, because I've got really heavy duty mounts on it, but it you know, it could have got knocked over somewhere. So have a few shots, see where it's at, see how rusty I am, and adjust it if needs be, and I'll go through that. Right, what I'm going to do is about 3 or 4 shots at this target now, the centre one. See where we're going with the gun. This is a range of about 25 yards from when we're shooting from. Let's see what happens. Alright, let's see where we're at. Get it off this tripod. Okay, well, other than my little bit of off shots here, I would say that is slightly off to the left. The group is over here. I was rushing my shots a little bit, to be fair, you know. You're trying to shoot with a camera, you're trying to rush it. But yeah, it's just slightly off to the left. So I'll just show you now quickly how we adjust that. There's distance from cabin actually, so you can just see it's right over there. I was just shooting from window. So yeah, it's about 25 yards. As I was shooting then as well, that was standing position. I don't like to try and use rests or things like that, because you tend to, when you're walking around shooting rabbits, you've just got the gun slung over your shoulder, and what you want to do is just take a standing shot. You know, if there's a tree nearby to rest your hand on, that's great, but usually they're in, so that was just a standing shot. I always zero my guns standing. These are just scope caps. All they do is cover the adjuster dials. The left and right is in the side one usually. The up and down is on the top. You have a small knife, yeah. Now it was just over to the left. Now if you look closely here, I don't know if you can see on there. Let me just zoom in a bit. Right, I hope I've zoomed in enough for you guys to see. Here is the left and right adjuster on the side of the scope. Now there is an L for left and an arrow. Now obviously my gun was out to the left a little bit, so it wants to go right, so I'm going to go opposite to the arrow. So I'm going to go probably at that sort of distance, probably 3 clicks, 2, 3, and try it again and see where we get along there. Something I also always do is I always try and shoot, when I'm zeroing the gun, I always try and shoot in the clothes that I'm going to intend to be hunting in or shooting in, because the thickness of your jacket, how it positions the gun against your face, it all affects the accuracy. Nice having a nice dry cabin to shoot from. Should have made the window a bit bigger though. I can already tell that's going in the middle now. But it's better to have 3 or 4 shots just to make sure it's not just a fluke shot or, you know, wind's caught or anything like that. Take 3 or 4 or 5 to make sure. I don't know if you notice how I'm cocking the gun, but I hold it under my arm like that and never let the barrel go, because I had, as a younger guy, when you're learning, I had an incident where I was loading a break barrel rifle like this, and I had big toggle type buttons on one of my jackets, and I had the rifle swinging like this and my hand on it. It didn't have a scope on that one, I had it swinging like that. And it hooked one of the toggles, and as I pulled it forward, my hand slid up and, would you believe, went in the gap right there and pulled the trigger, and the barrel snapped shut, and trust me, it nearly took my thumb off. I had to have a lot of stitches, and it broke my thumb as well. Definitely always hold the barrel. Alright, let's go and have a look at this target. Right, where are we at here? Yeah, you have to ignore that one. That's a bit of a bad shot by me. Right, what we got? That looks all right to me. There's about, I think I took 6 shots. There's 6 shots in there. I'm pretty happy with that. That's at 25, about around 25 yards. So that's fine. Right. So we know what gun's 0. Right, that's 0 now. That's perfect. I always leave it a little bit high in case I judge my distances wrong. A few yards with such an heavy pellet as a Bisley Magnum can have it dropping. And last thing you want to do is hit an animal. If you're shooting rabbits in its cheek or something like that, you definitely want a head shot or a neck shot to drop it down. These Bisley Magnums will drop them with a chest shot, but what you get is if you shoot them in chest, they'll sometimes run a few yards before they die, which is to be expected. I'll just take this off here just a moment. But what happens if they run a few yards, particularly with rabbits, they'll tend to run. They will run down a rabbit hole, and you will not get it. It will be dead down there. You might even be able to see it down hole, but you'll not be able to get it. Trust me, I've done that as well. I'm just going to give this a wipe down with Young's 303 now. It's just basic. It's just gun oil, gun cleaner. Just going to give that a quick wipe down. This gun will be out in all weathers over this winter probably. So a little bit of oil now, and every time I use it, I put some on every time I use it, because if you leave it stored with fingerprints all, you find they just go rusty. You know, the bluing on these guns is quite delicate really. But I shall just wipe this down and clean the scope lenses. By the way, if you're interested in seeing how to service this gun, replace the mainspring or something like that, I also have another video which I'll add into the link somewhere on here now of that as well, just for anyone interested in Weihrauch HW80s or Weihrauchs in general. They are a fantastic gun, well known, renowned hunting gun. I like it. I personally love the gun. It's all set up and ready to go now, so hopefully next time we'll see it, we'll be out in field and bagging us some rabbits. Cheers guys.